Oh, there we go. That should work. Test, 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 test. Because we don't have enough organizers for this race, I will also be doing the pace lap with filling out the gaps, so you guys will be missing the first couple of laps of action. Those who are just joining, we are short of organizers, so I will be your broadcaster and commentator, and also the pace car driver for the first lap. Oh great, that's fun. And they should make a new road law, no reading chat while driving. But yes, I am your commentator slash streamer for the third stint out of the 3, Chompy 18. Currently captain of Renegade Motorsports. as we go underway. Cards Fan is going to be starting off the stint with Blue from Texas 3, or Virtual Drivers by Texas 3, right behind him, filling out that second row. If you haven't watched Stint 1 and 2 already, in short summary, what happened was we had just really the top 4 drivers pull away at the start, and then there was a gap between 4th and 5th, and then from there was gaps a lot of the way down. Have had some issues today due to some unplanned for circumstances, but hopefully we can get better at that next time we do an event like this. Welcome to the third stint out of the 3 for the eSGT 6 Hours of Le Mans. Due to our short list, I guess, of organizers, I'm going to be doing streamer and commentary and also pace car for this first lap. As we go here into the pit lane, give everyone their respective gaps. Alright, make sure everyone lines up. Perfect. Alright, now it's time for the fun part, doing all the math. Alright, let's whip out the timing sheets from the last race. Starting off in front, we have Cards Fan. Do 730 is Cards Fan. Behind him is Blue, representing Virtual Drivers by TX3, and he's going to be 19 seconds behind. So that's going to be 50 for 20, and then 49. Next is Nick. Nick and Cooper were at it last race. He's going to be just 2 seconds behind him, so that's going to be 51 for Nico. In fourth, given his position from Bill and Stint 2, he is... Man, this math is too hard for me at this point. I'm bad at simple subtracting. $8.28 for Stinky. Oh, great, and then it just has a lap down. That's certainly fun. I guess I'll have to work my way around that then. To do that's 36 and then 55. So that's 20 seconds down. 28:48. Let me know in the chat if I'm wrong about any of this, by the way, too. Oh, Nico's a lap down. That's my bad. Hold up. Let me tell him that. If he's a lap down, I'm gonna count a lap down as 3 plus a lap. So again, if you guys disagree with what I'm saying, then please tell me in the chat. Who's behind him? Have Callie, who is 43, a minute behind about, so that's going to be 11. It's 5:45. Should be Alright, sorry about those gaps. I got him as accurately as my picture showed me, but now we move on to the race. Starting, and here's our current grid order. We have Cardsfan representing Phoenix 7, holding off that first position. And we have in second Blue Xfinos representing Virtual Drivers by TX3. 3 seconds behind him, Nico. Close battle soon. We can only hope, is Nico from Euromasters. Behind Nico in fourth is Stinky representing AMS Motorsport. I expect to see some good performances from them. They got fastest lap in Stint 2. I can't remember what they got in Stint 3, but it was pretty quick. Almost a lap down in fifth is Wise Guy representing Cosmic eSports. And then behind him is Chromadex. Can't see it in his name, but he is representing Eclipse Motorsport. In seventh, we have HP Tunes. He is on a mixed team of drivers here. Eighth, we have Socan. I forgot how to pronounce that team. I'm going to make sure I get it right. It is Lola Lysirica Hatsune LMP. I am really bad with pronunciation. I'm sorry about that. In ninth, we have R. Ellen representing Renegade/Zero Motorsport. And in 10th, we have Pachito from Team Hybrix in the Nissan. We're going to keep our eyes on Nico here as he is really closing that gap to Blue. Oh, Nico went a little bit wide through that first chicane, lost about 4/10. Both of them as a group are also gaining on Cardsfan as well, so expect to see a battle here soon. We can also go back to 8th and 9th. Arellen is dropping back a little bit. Might see a battle between him and Socan or him and Pachito soon. And then we have 5th or 4th to 7th, which are really just in their own bubble away from everyone else right now. But yeah, this is probably one of the most stacked league races I've seen before. We have some really quick drivers in here. Stinky World Tour driver, Cardsfan is here, Blue is here, Nico's very quick. Wise Guy as well. So we have a ton of drivers from a ton of different places who are all very quick here at Le Mans. To, of course, celebrate the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which finished this morning or this afternoon, wherever you're from. Seems Nico is losing some significant time to Blue as well. The gap now is 3.6 seconds. He did gain on him quite a bit through the Porsche Curves, so we'll see how it goes from there. But yes, this being Stint 3 of 3, whoever crosses the line first at the end of this race will be the winner of the race. Of course, pre-penalties and all that good stuff. And yes, tuning is on during the race as well, so these drivers have tuned their cars, so they're much more quicker either in a straight line or through the corners, or a combination of both. But you have to sacrifice somewhere, whether that's the straight or the corners. There's also custom BOP, which really hasn't affected many cars. It's the Audi got a little bit of weight taken off of it, and the Nissan got 9% of its normal BOP weight taken off. So there's a little bit of BOP, but not much. Keep in mind too, with all the penalties, they're going to need to be served basically right before the Porsche Curves on that straightaway. If drivers fail to do so, they will be up to protest by other drivers who can then report them, and for each infringement of penalty serving, I believe it is 5 seconds, but it could be less, could be a little bit more than that depending on the severity. But yeah, penalties around here are also very strong. You can just cut the corner in the wrong way and you'll be handed a half a second or a second penalty for basically doing nothing. As we see Nico rounds Indianapolis here, serving that penalty. Moving to Blue, who currently has the fastest lap of the race, a 3:17. Not the fastest lap currently set, as that, I believe, is either going to be narcotic from Apex Motorsport in Split 1, which I forgot what the fastest time there is, or Split 2, which is a 3:13, very high 3:13. So Apex Motorsport has definitely got some good fast lap pace around here at Le Mans. Blue and Nico together are catching Cards Fan at a relative pace, so expect to see a battle there soon. Le Mans is a difficult track, this one, not necessarily on the straights, but it's more of the fact that one mistake can cost you quite a bit if you do make one. But other than that aspect, in avoiding penalties, which are very strict around this track, it's pretty easy. You got 4 or 5 long straightaways, the Porsche Curves. You do have the Ford chicanes though, which those are very difficult to get right if you don't know how to take them, and they can end your race very quickly, as seen previously by other drivers. And some of the tunes here as well are more benefited on high-end rotation, so when they get down to those slower speeds, they're going to be a lot less easy to handle. So through the Ford chicanes, that's definitely going to hamper some of the drivers. Seems as Nico is about on relatively same pace as Cards Fan. However, Blue is faster than the both of them as he catches up. Going back down the grid, let's see the gaps to some of the other drivers. Stinky here with a 1.1 second penalty, serving that up ahead. Is gaining on Nico. Barely, but he is gaining. So we'll keep our eyes on Stinky towards the end of the 2 hours. We also have Wise Guy 2.5 minutes back. As the gaps are also maintained, it's not just because a driver is 2.5 or whatever minutes back doesn't mean that they have they've just been unlucky or whether they have bad driving skill. It's purely based on the gaps of other teams. And Blue does a new fastest lap of the race, a 3:16.459. Still not the fastest that we've seen today, but it's still a very quick lap. Porsche is a strange choice for this race, but if they can make it work, then it's definitely can be a quick car, mainly in the corners. Not so good on the straightaway. That hybrid just deploys so quickly, and it's mainly used for acceleration, not that top end like the Porsche. SoCan is also catching him, so we might see a battle here shortly as well in a couple of laps. Moving down as well, the gap to SoCan from our Relin is also increased. And then we have the Nissan. It's a good challenge, the Nissan. Personally, I wouldn't pick it. The front tire wear is too much for me. But if you can make the Nissan work, I mean, props to you. It's definitely an underdog. I wouldn't consider underrated. I think it's not that good of a car, which makes it a challenge to use, but still in, still out. Yeah. As we see, Blue here is about to go for being lapped by Blue. Blue's going purple this lap as well, so he's only improving his time as he keeps going round and round, getting more comfortable with the track and track evolution as well. The gap to Cards Fan is decreasing at what seems to be an exponential rate now. Blue's times are about 2 seconds faster than Cards Fan at this moment. Nico sets a fastest lap of the race, hitting a 3:16, so both drivers are speeding up quite quickly, getting used to the track, settling in for the next hour that they'll be here, or the next hour in what, 45, 30 minutes, something around there. Yeah, Nico is definitely flying now. Blue is only... he lost a tenth through that last chicane. It appears that they're also worse on the straights. The Euromaster team, their tuna is more with the rear ride height lifted to give them that benefit through the corners. As you see, he lost to 2/10 on that straightaway. Coming up onto probably their first lapped car of the race, or maybe second. Still catching Cards Fan, but at a lot of a slow rate now. This Cards Fan seems to be quickening just a little bit. Next lap, I think we'll go for an onboard of Nico here, and I'll explain what you were looking for here at Le Mans to take probably not the best line in the world like these guys, but give you a good ground for you if you are just starting out or you're looking to improve around here as Nico and Blue go through the Porsche Curves. Don't count Stinky out too. It appears that he's keeping good pace onto Nico as well. That gap not moving at all. So he rounds out the Porsche chicanes. Coming into the first corner, you like to brake as soon as that turn is over and you start pointing it straight again at maybe the third total board. Compromise your first turn to get a better exit out of that second one. And then you have a short downhill left and right, which is all flat out. And then you have this left, drop it into third, basically coast it, and then get fast on the throttle. And then that right turn is easily a flat out right. All you got to do for that pass turn back there onto the Molson straight is also just either a slight lift or foot planted, depending on the tune you have. Here to the first chicane, you like to brake as soon as you see a gap in the fence on the left, right there. Depending on your tune also, you might be braking earlier or after that, but it's a good marker that I like to use. Accelerate on the power out of that first chicane, and going into the second one, you want to move to the right hand side of the track as the chicane is a left-right left. It's a bit of a faster entry, faster exit, but there's like a more slow, more relaxing middle part to it. Is you like to brake around the 100 here, kind of coast into it, drop it in the second, going into that part of the right, and then floor it through this third section here. Going into, I believe this is the Molson Corner, second slowest part on the track, probably the biggest braking zone on the track too. You like to brake as soon as that curb turns, drop it in the first or second, again depending on your tune, and really get that power out onto this fourth straightaway here at Le Mans. You also have two very small right-handers, which you can take the curbs on. Won't help with tire wear, but you can if you're just looking for that little bit of extra lap time, and take it into Indianapolis. Into Indianapolis, for this right-hander, you want to keep it flat and then brake as soon as you straighten your car out. Coasting or slightly gassing that left-hander, getting on the power, using all that curb on the right, and then braking very early for this slowest corner here at Le Mans. Nico serving a penalty there as well. Reason for the early break. As we go into this fifth straightaway here at Le Mans, next up is the Porsche Curves. Depending on your tune, you can either take it with just a very slight lift, or you have to brake for this corner. It's very dependent on what your tune you're running, and then you take this double left-hander flat out or slight lift into that one, so you can get a better exit out of this right-hander into the Porsche Curves. Out of the Porsche Curves. And then you don't want to use all the yellow curbing on the exit of the Porsche Curves. That is how you get a penalty. And then into the Ford chicane, use the pit entry to the best of your ability, drop it into the third, and just kind of coast through the first section, drop again, and coast through that second part, and then floor it out using all that curb on the left, and that's one lap of Le Mans for you. Gap increased to blue as well during that lap, probably because of the penalty that he had to serve after Indianapolis. Blue's gap to Cards fan, though, is only 7.4 seconds now, so he's definitely gaining on Cards fan with those 3:16s compared to Cards fan's 3:17s or 3:18s. Going back down the grid to check some of the other gaps. Again, 4th to like 8th is very just widespread. I'd like to call it lonely. I typically get bored when I'm like this. There's no one in front of you, no one behind you, and basically you're looking to either be lapped or lap a car, because it's like your entertainment for the next 10 minutes, because you have nothing else that you're trying to do, just focusing on the laps, and there's really nothing else to focus on. And at least me, I get bored really easily like this. Same goes for Chromadex, just kind of sitting in the middle. SoCan as well, but he did pass HP Tunes, it looks like, very quickly. But still, he's going to be gaining on him coming out of the slowest corner here at Le Mans. Arellon seems to be gaining on HP Tunes, so we might see a battle coming up here shortly as well between the two drivers. Pageto's gap seems to have decreased by 10 seconds too at the same time as well. Of course, me being a Renegade member, there's totally not any bias to who wins right here. Arellon, one of our new drivers. I've raced with him for quite a while. Great driver, great guy. So yeah, 10 laps in, almost 11 as we see Cards fan going through Porsche Curves now. Everyone's pretty much maintained position again, as all the gaps have been maintained to the best that we could maintain them. Cards fan is running 3:17s, 3:18s as he finishes out that Porsche Curve right there. And then Blue is your second place driver as of now. Nico not far behind at all, just only 6 seconds. So we're going to be seeing a very intense battle between two extremely quick drivers here shortly, as Blue sets the fastest lap of the race, taking that back from Nico, 3:16.2. Nico's got the Stinky as well. Stinky is a very quick driver. That car also has an amazing tune on it, as we saw earlier in stints 1 and 2. But Nico and Stinky are pretty much on the same pace here. That gap has not moved much at all. Ooh, 1 second penalty there for Nico. He's going to have to serve that going in, exiting Indianapolis, going into the Porsche Curves. We're also going to be expecting that first pit stop to come up here shortly for those who have filled their tanks to half full. Nico does go fastest, or It does go purple through, I think it's sector 3. Again, the Euromaster setup is more based for cornering, not that straight line speed, so he is going to lose out on those straights, but through places like Porsche Curves, he is mighty fine and ready to go. It appears Aurelin has also gotten past HP Tunes, as you see Rodrigo in the back, or not Rodrigo, sorry, Cards fan, it looks like, trying to pass the lapped group of cars. Small mess up there from Aurelin. That's going to give HP the advantage going into Porsche Curves. You also can't forget that Blue and Nico are right behind, so that's another thing they're going to have to worry about as they go in. Seems HP is trying to not use all the curbs to his highest ability right now, so maybe that's part of tire saving, or what he's trying to do, thinking ahead for later in the race. But as of now, Aurelin is pulling out that gap to him. Pagito behind is only 15 seconds back, so we might be seeing a pass from him later on. As you see, Blue there getting past him. Checking up on the fight at front. Gaps have pretty much decreased by a second each. Nothing too major. You see Blue going past Aurelin. Using all that slipstream that he can get to try and catch up to Cards fan. Or stay away from Nico. Probably both in his mind. But again, Nico will also have the benefit of the slipstream from him too. That's probably a time when you want a back marker in front of you, so you can use that slipstream to your fullest ability. Oh, little bit of oversteer coming out of that Molson Corner for Blue. Still holds the fastest lap, 3:16.2. It's not the quickest we've seen today, but it's definitely very fast. Nico seems to have yet to gone past the two back markers, so he'll probably be going past them very shortly here. Serving that penalty, going into that slow corner on the track, and he's going to use that hybrid to get past. I believe that is HP Tunes right there. That gap opening up to 3.2 seconds to Blue as well from Nico as he scrapes that wall coming out of the Porsche Curves. Mid-Porsche Curve, I don't know. Blue, though, is increasing his gap, decreasing that gap to Cards Fan, and he has saved 10% more fuel than Cards Fan going into the pits. Nico opts to stay out on lap 12. Pacheto's gaining on HB Tunes quite quickly in that little Nissan that could. Looking at the gap between Cards Fan and Blue, that 10% of fuel made him right on the back of Cards Fan. So he's going to get that slipstream down the straightaway here. Gaining a few seconds to that first chicane, Blue is in really good shape to get onto the back of Cards Fan here. He is on the back, but will he be able to get past? This is definitely going to be benefiting Nico soon when they start fighting. So Nico may be able to join the fight or catch up to Cards Fan and Blue. We go into Molson Corner here. The gap is down to 5 tenths now. 5 tenths. Will Blue be going for a move into Indianapolis? I highly doubt it, but you never know. These drivers have a mind of their own and will pull off any move in order to get past. Nico is increasing that gap. Oh, well, Lamb, you got to take a shot. Half a second penalty. Sorry, buddy. Maybe he'll serve it before you can notice. Nico does pit in, lap 13, a lap after the other two. Try not to get that undercut done on him. This Cards Fan and Blue round the Porsche Curves. Cards Fan getting a better exit out of the Porsche Curves, increasing that gap back up to 8 tenths going into the 4 chicanes. Coming on to the first part of Molson Straight. Blue's in that slipstream, decreasing that 7/10 gap. it probably won't be enough going into this first chicane. Looks like Blue took a little bit too much curb coming into that chicane, but it gave him a few tenths on Cards Fan. So, I mean, I guess that's the optimum line. The dirty air is really affecting Blue now, it seems, as he wasn't able to increase the gap through that chicane. Seems as Blue is fuel saving too, shifting up into 6th. Maybe he doesn't want to overtake Cards Fan. I didn't think of that. Maybe he just wants to sit in behind, save some of that fuel for later on. Again, this will benefit Nico in 3rd here as well, as their fuel saving, Nico can just rev it up and try to get onto the back of them. Stinky, the gap has increased a little bit, but yeah. And now we see some late pit stops, one from Arell in lap 15. Possibly going for a 1-stop. However, most likely the 2-stop is probably faster around here. Looks like Cards Fan is trying to shake off that slipstream a little bit. There's only so much you can do avoiding slipstream legally in the rules, though, as you can only defend your move once. So basically no weaving across the straight of the track. This fuel saving, though, is allowing Nico to catch up, decreasing that gap to what appears to be 2 seconds. Cards Fan really messing up that second chicane here. But yeah, it appears Blue is just going to be sitting there fuel saving. Or maybe he's going to go for a pass. Cards Fan is being defensive. First side by side this whole race. Top 2. Trying to go around the outside. Cards Fan breaks late, but holds the position. Still almost side by side going into Indianapolis. Again, Cards Fan is going to have the 2 small right-handers and the right-hander Indianapolis, but if Lou can stay side by side, he'll be able to get that left-hander with the banking. So we'll see what he does here. Probably sticks in behind to the best of his ability, as he does as they go through Indianapolis. He tries it into The corner outside of there. Oh, but he gets the cut back. That's going to be a bad exit from Cards Fan. And the move looks like it's done unless Cards Fan has a reply into the Porsche Curves. And he doesn't. This battling is giving Nico the upper hand, though. He's being able to catch up real quick. Nico driving in the back of there. You can also see a lot of the one-stoppers coming in now. So whether the one-stop is a good strategy, we will only find out. Only time will tell. Seems Pagito is working up his way through the field as well. Moving up into 8th, starting at the back of the grid in that Nissan. No Nissan that could. Gap to Stinky is still pretty much the same. To Nico as well. Seems as if Blue is just pulling now. Cards Fan missing his braking point. That gives about a second. Slows him down about by a second. Decreasing the gap between Nico and increasing it to Blue. Nico is really gaining on Cards Fan now. The gap is down to 1.2 seconds, probably 1.1 at the exit of the Porsche Curves. Nico goes a little bit on the dirt there. See if Nico will be able to challenge Cards Fan into the first chicane here. As always, the next corner, especially around here, where each lap is about 3 minutes and 18 seconds, and there's 34 of them. At this rate, Blue is just trying to pull away with this first place right now. Cards fan might start pushing now as well. Nico really increasing that gap through the Porsche Curves. Will he go for a move into the Ford chicane? I don't think there's room, but there might be. No, he decides better of it. Cardsfan is really up on his pace, and Nico goes wide for the second time on the exit of the Ford chicane. While they're a second apart too, we might as well go down the grid too to see if there's any new surprises. Stinky is 54 seconds back, keeping up with them, but his starting gap isn't really what he was looking for entering this race. Wise Guy's in a similar position, and then these bottom few drivers just so gapped out. See Blue just up there, barely making the second chicane here. Hold on. Close out the race info real quick, so for those who are wanting to take some screenshots or whatever, they can do that, because I know that is important to some teams. Again, you can probably look it up in the replay as well, But it might be easier for some people to just take them straight off the stream. Who is currently last? I'm not sure. Oh, looks like Cards Fan makes a mistake coming out of the Ford chicane. That's going to put Nico right on his tail. Nico definitely could have gone for the pass there, but chose not to. I wonder if he's fuel saving. Suggesting by his short shifting he probably is. With Nico's fuel saving behind Cards Fan, Blue is just pulling away, taking the first place further and further from them as well. I think that's going to be a penalty for the both of them. Yeah, Cards Fan with a half a second, and Nico with a half a second right there. P9 is Arellen from Renegade Zero, Team Renegade /Zero. Nico opting to serve his penalty before that first chicane, it appears. Update on fuel for those who care for Blue right now. This is about what appears to be 30–40%, somewhere around there. 35. keep in mind too, beside that $100 grand prize for first place, there also is a 30-second or $30 second place. So they might be also trying to fight for that as well. Cards fan still having that penalty. He's going to have a serve it soon, or Nico is going to go past. Cards fan getting going wide into the second part of that second chicane, giving Nico the run into Molson. Chances are Nico is going to be fuel saving though. With all this battling too, don't forget Stinky, he's 50 seconds back, but that gap is decreasing now. Cards fan is going to be serving that penalty here soon. Unless he holds it until the end of the race, which, yeah, he's going offline, serving that. And Nico gets past. Nico is now no longer fuel saving, it looks like, as he just opened up that gap to 1.5 seconds through the Porsche Curves. We're seeing a lot less penalties now that everyone is more comfortable in their positions and is holding them quite well. Oh, Stinky gets it all wrong going into the Ford chicanes. That's going to really hamper his performance. As Wise Guy from Cosmic eSports is slowly gaining onto Stinky. I think he is a lap down though, so if he does pass, it will still be one more lap that he has to complete. Chromadex here, representing ERS. Here's that fresh Nissan you guys are talking about in the chat from Pagito driving for Hyprix eSports. Those fronts do wear very quickly on the Nissan though, so props to Hypixel for picking that car out of all the cars in the batch or the bunch. Keeping it flat through the Porsche Curves the first part either is a really good tune or that's just part of the Nissan. It's pulling some decent times, 3:19, 3:20. The little Nissan that could. Tuning this car, they are really redlining that fifth gear too. Should have made it a little bit longer. Here you see SoCan with, I think that is blue in the background. Like Wise Guy got past Stinky, and Stinky's just gonna take that back from him here. Wise Guy getting it a little bit wrong into that entry of the chicane, but he did save it. Props to him. On the gaps at the front. Cards fan is 3 seconds back to Nico, who is about 10 seconds back to Blue. Got the front ride height really low. It looks like almost it's just barely scraping the ground. Half-second penalty for Nico here, exiting that chicane. Oh, I didn't even see that Blue set a new fastest lap of 3:15.9. Seems like Cardsfan is catching back up to Nico. Very slowly though, not by much. Could also be because Phoenix went with a more straight line focused tune rather than through the corners. But Nico did have a penalty though, so slowing down before Porsche Curves. Gap is now down to 1.1 seconds. Little bit of lag, but he makes it. Looks like we're gonna see Cardsfan and Blue going in for their second stop of the race here. Gonna take a look at this beautiful Phoenix 7 livery. You don't see purple often on a lot of cars, so take it in. Oh, looks like there's a battle for 8th position here. Or maybe not. I just saw Arellen switch places with Pachito real quick. Pachito in for his stop though. We'll be watching him as he takes it flat through the Porsche Curves, because it is really interesting seeing how Nissan can take it flat straight through there. Nico goes in for a stop with 2% fuel left. We'll see if Cards Fan gets any sort of an undercut on him right here as he comes out of the Porsche Curves. Alright, Nico is out of the pits with 83% fuel left. He is going to be well ahead of Cards Fan. About 9 seconds it looks like. 8 or 9 seconds. Seems like Chromadex is catching Wise Guy. At the beginning of the race, that gap was over a minute, and now it is decreasing. So we might see a battle at the very end of the race between these two, but we'll see later on. They should rename the Porsche Curves to the Nissan Curves, because let me tell you, that Nissan really grips through there, going flat out. looks like the gap between the top 3 has risen. Cards Fan is now 12 to 13 seconds away from Nico, who is 12 seconds away from Blue. So, seems as long as Blue doesn't screw anything up, they will be taking the win of this race. Provisional win, I guess you could say right now. watches Blue comes across the line to start his final lap. This was a very interesting 6 hours of racing, starting with issues from Stint 1 and some probably amazing battles in the other stints, as well as this one. So we watch Blue go on to the Molson Straight for the last time. As long as he doesn't mess anything up, he will be the victor of the eSGT 6 Hours of Le Mans special event, going into the first chicane. Looks like Blue improved on his fastest lap with a 3:15.4. That was lap 32. So, still not the fastest that we've seen today, but still extremely quick. As he is going to go through Indianapolis for the final time. As Blue exits the Porsche Curves, bringing home his Toyota TS050, winning the eSGT 6 Hours of Le Mans special event for Virtual Drivers by Texas 3. He crosses the line, and that is first place. Don't forget about Nico from Euromasters, though, as he crosses the line, finishing second. Both first and second get a cash prize at the end of this race as of now. And Nico crosses the line and goes fastest with a 3:14.9. That is incredibly quick. Now as we go back to Cards Fan in third, finishing out the podium positions for Team Phoenix 7. Phoenix 7 eSports crosses the line third. Well done to our podium drivers. We also have Soken crossing the line as well. Trying to figure out who's gonna cross the line next, as he is in the Porsche Curves. Stinky, I think, yeah. Apex Motorsport, I know they had a great tune, just weren't able to show it off today. They have some incredibly fast drivers. It's going to be a 4th position for them as he rounds the Ford chicane for the final time. Car 94. As we see Patchto coming through the Porsche Curves really fast. That Nissan is very quick through those Porsche Curves. The only Nissan in this event, and it made it to the end. As he crosses the line on his final lap. Not far behind is Wise Guy for Cosmic eSports. He takes way too much curb over there, but he will finish in 5th. HP Tunes is going to be the next over the line for, I believe it is Delmar or Delmartian eSports. In 10th position. 3 laps down from the leader. Next up is Chromadex across the line for Eclipse Racing eSports. And then the last person is Arellen for Renegade Zero, Team Renegade Zero. And there are your positions. Alright, this concludes the 6 hours of Le Mans special event from eSGT. It was really rough getting this thing started, but we're glad everything settled down in the end. And we have a winner. We'll see you guys next time. Next Sunday, eSGT, we have the GT3 Series Round 6, I believe it is, at Fuji. Make sure you're tuned for that. We're streaming Division 1 with many World Tour drivers and really just quick guys in general. You might want to check that out. And the Sunday after that, we also have another eSGT GT3 round as well. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned for that. Alright, that is it from eSGT. We will see you guys Sunday.